New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek addressed the controversy around the pandemic misinformation on Joe Rogan's podcast, admitting to his employees that even he finds some of the shows hosted by the streaming service very offensive. Quote, "There are many things that Joe Rogan says that I strongly disagree with and find very offensive. But if you want a shot at achieving our bold ambitions, it means even having content on Spotify that many of us may not be proud to be associated with. Not anything goes, but there will be opinions, ideas, and beliefs that we disagree with strongly and even makes us angry or sad." Spotify's slow response to complaints about Rogan's show promoting misinformation about the pandemic and vaccines prompted multiple high-profile artists, including Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, and India.Arie, to pull their music from the platform. Spotify responded to the growing backlash by saying that it would add content advisories to Rogan's episodes referencing the pandemic. CEO also made a comment to staff that stated Spotify didn't have creative control over the Rogan experience. Still, it reviews finished episodes and removes some that failed to meet its standards. Spotify's slow response to complaints about Rogan's show prompting misinformation about the pandemic and vaccines prompted multiple high-profile artists, including Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, and India.Arie, to pull their music from the platform. Spotify responded to the growing backlash by saying that it would add a content advisory to Rogan's episodes referencing the pandemic. The CEO also stated to staff that Spotify didn't have creative control over the Joe Rogan experience, but it reviews finished episodes and removes some that failed to meet its standards. But the signing of Rogan in a $100 million exclusive deal was critical to the company's success. Quote, "To be frank, had we not made some of the choices we did, I am confident that our business wouldn't be where it is today." All right, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? You heard Spotify basically saying they were going to give $100 million and they were going to diversify their platform and a variety of other things that I stated in a previous video dealing with Spotify and Joe Rogan, right? So, and you also heard the Spotify CEO also list that, hey, there's some opinions that'll make us angry, that'll make us sad, and that we will just overall disagree with, but it's healthy and it's great for the platform. It's great for the political climate. It's great to sit up there and have conversations and to, open, people's minds to different points of view and different things like that, right? So let's just go off of that narrative, right? Everything is great and it's all for conversation. So why not have brother Rizza Islam, right? The young man to the left, and then let's have the Honorable Minister Farrakhan to the right. Let's have them on Spotify, right? Allow them to sit up there and be up there, right? Give them a platform. And I'm just listing this, right? Because some people are like, oh, here we go again. We're sitting up there asking a man to allow us to be somewhere and yada, yada, yada. Like I said, there's a time and place to be militant. This is not the time and place, because if you really have a problem with what it is that I'm stating, then you yourself need to get up off of the cell phone that you're using to communicate on and actually build and start up your own platform. If you really feel that way, if you really want to be that judgmental and you want to be that critical of what it is that I'm stating, you yourself need to use the same cell phone, the computer that you have in your hand, go on YouTube, learn some things about web design, learn some things about CC Plus and everything else, and you need to sit up there and go create your own platform, have some Google ad traffic directly on there, get some paid service, and there you go. Like I said, if you're not doing that, there's no reason for you to realistically leave that comment. Just saying. Now back to my example. So if everything is good for everybody, right? Let's have brother Rizza Islam and let's have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan directly on that platform, and let me not forget brother Ben X as well, right? Let's have them directly on Spotify. Let's allow them right, the space so they can talk to the people, so that they can reach the people, so that they can educate the people properly. Let's do that. But I promise you, Spotify is not going to go that far. They're not going to do that. And I promise you that a lot of those podcasts would not even make it directly onto the platform. Like they said before, they don't have creative control. That was more than likely a part of that contract that Joe Rogan sat up there and signed. And that was very smart. By the way, like I said, black people, pay attention. When you know you have a branding and you know that you can bring in a lot of viewers, you can bring in a lot of advertisers, you can make any type of deal that you want to make. It's up to the other person if they want to accept it or not. And obviously, Spotify accepted it and they told you exactly what it is. They said that we don't have creative control over his podcast, but we can look at the final product and, see if it'll basically meet our standards. Obviously, some of them didn't, so we took them down. The only reason why some of those did not meet, that little, what would you call it? That standard is because of the fallout that took place. If everything that was stated about the pandemic on this podcast never happened, if everything that India Ari or whoever else that put that video together, if they didn't bring up all of those slurs that he used, guess what? 70 of his podcasts, if not maybe more, somewhere further during the future, would not have been erased off the platform. Because nobody would have been looking for it. They would have just paid attention to the every day. They wouldn't have been going back and trying to do as much research as possible. But like I said before, they're not going to allow, right, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Brother Ben X, or Rizza Islam directly on those platforms due to the fact of the controversy, right, the innocence surrounds them because of the topics, right, that they are educated about and that they talk about. They're not going to sit up there and do it because you would have a lot of people hugely angry. Like I said, this is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been taken off of IG. He's been taken off Twitter. He's been taken off of Facebook. He's been taken off of YouTube or pretty much any other platform that we have. Brother Rizza Islam, the young man that you have seen that has been doing this for, I think, over 20 years now. He has also had issues with IG and many other platforms as well. And he is pretty much one of the most educated black men that I have seen when it comes to things surrounding and dealing with the pandemic. I'm just going by the amount of research that is taking place, the educated folks that are doctors, virologists, and so on, that he has also talked to as well. Like I said, I am all for opposing views. I have no issue with that. Like the Spotify CEO said, it's like, hey, opposing views are very good for the people. It helps people, think. It lets them, grow mentally and different things of that nature. So if that's where we are, right? If we're about the growth, if we're about communication, if we're about diversification, we're about putting information out there, then this would actually be pretty good for Spotify. Why? Because it would bring in a lot of people that would just want to hear what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would have to say. Knowing the fact that they'll get angry about it, but it'll be good for the product. Why? Because people would tune in and listen. They might not be, your average, premium users, which means that the ads that will run through will then further generate more money for Spotify versus just the premium subscriptions, right? Like I said, it can go either way. But as I stated before, that's not something that Spotify is going to do, nor will they sit up there and try to even risk going that far. They're just not going to do it. They're not, because they know what that would exactly do. And also the people in power know that, certain things can empower black people, and that's not what they want to do. Let's all remember that the Honorable Minister has been banned directly from Great Britain. They do not want him over there at all. He hasn't even done anything. He just spoke, and they're like, you know what, you're banned. You're never coming over here. They're not mad at the words. They don't want him going over there to inspire the hearts and the minds of the melanated people over there in Britain. That's what they don't want to happen. like I said, people gotta look at the long-term effects, of a lot of things versus just the short-sighted and narrow view that is in a sense given. Right? It's chess, not checkers. But anyways, like I said before, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything now listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.